So not only are you champions for making it through the conference, right? You're champions for being here first thing in the morning with your beverage of choice. I'm Rebecca Evans. It's my honor here to be here today. I'm one of the co-track chairs. Trish, don't sit down. Here's Trish, my co-track chair. Please come and say hello.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Trish Janakis, and I'll be track chairing the afternoon sessions. But thank you for being here.
Yeah, we're so happy to have this group today, Creator Room. I'm going to read a couple announcements now, and then we're going to get our panel started. So you may have heard a couple of these things before, but we try and make it fresh, right? So I would love to tell you about the SWOGO app. This is the app for the conference. If you haven't downloaded it yet to find all the things you need to do today, go ahead and download it. Look for the app Attendee Mobile and search for AWE. And then you can put together your own agenda, find your exhibitors. You don't have much time to do that today. Accessibility notice, we have AI captions and translations. The captioning is provided by X-Ray. It's available on the web at https://xraglass/awe/. Today's special events. All right, so we've been learning from the past this entire time here to build XR's future. So we would love if you have time to visit the XR History Museum. And that is located in the exhibit hall. You can also check out the XR Walk of Stars, take photos with them. If you're lucky, you see those stars, take a picture of them with their with their star. It's been really cool. Feels Hollywood, right? We're in Long Beach. This is so cool. Then also, don't forget about the playground. Playground experiences are open before 3, and then at 3:45 today, 4:30 is the wrap-up event. So that's going to be, and the Best in Show Awards at the Grand Ballroom, 3:45 p.m. Food is available for purchase at the venue and the many restaurants nearby. How excited are we to have restaurants nearby? Who was in Santa Clara before? Yes. Who is excited to be in Long Beach? Yes. So, myself included, I'm from the Bay Area. All right, so social. AWE team encourage you to use the hashtag AWE 2024. Recording of the sessions. This session is being recorded. The main stage was live streamed, and this session will be on YouTube excitedly for all those people that couldn't be in the audience today. Then, who needs Wi-Fi? The network is AWE_Wi-Fi. The password is feel spatial, all lowercase, no spaces. Now, last and not least, our sponsors for the coffee this morning, for the events last night, for everything. Thank you to our sponsors. I'm going to start with the AWE team. Would like to extend a huge thank you to the Diamond sponsors, Qualcomm, for their support. We'd also like to extend a great thank you to our Titanium sponsors, Meta, Niantic, Snap AR, and Sightful. And of course, our gold sponsors, AWS, HoloLight, Infinite Rabbit Holes, Lenovo, Magic Leap, Microsoft Mesh, Nippa, Pico, XReal, and Zappar. And finally, we extend our gratitude to all the sponsors and exhibitors for making AWE a reality. So here we are this morning with an amazing panel. I'm going to get to them right now because we're here to talk about intimacy, and what time in the morning is it? Gosh, does this feel strange? It's okay. We are going to have a chill time this morning with this amazing speakers. These folks are talking about a variety of topics, including XR theater, but really what that means is our connection to ourselves. So that intimacy, whether it's you and another person, whether it's you and an AI being, whether it's you and an avatar representation of yourself that's like a little different, all of the above, what does that mean? We're going to explore that a little bit in this panel. So,
thank you.
After you, thank you.
Hello. Oh my God, you guys are all here. It's so early. I'm so happy. I didn't think anybody was going to come after the party last night. All right, so we have limited time, so I'm going to rush through this. Watch me do it. Hi, everyone. I'm Deirdre, and welcome to the journey into the heart of digital intimacy with this fireside chat on the importance of connection and intimacy in XR with some incredible leaders in this space, including myself, Deirdre Lyons, and Whitton Frank, two of the co-founders of Ferryman Collective. Stephen Butchko's also here, wave right there. Thank you, Steve. Hi. We are part of a handful of creators in the world exploring the art of live immersive theater in virtual reality. And then we have Adele Keane, the COO and creative director of Imvizar, a company at the forefront of augmented reality storytelling, transforming physical locations around the world into interactive stages. Intimacy manifests itself in different forms, as we all know. It's emotional, physical, it's spiritual, it's intellectual. Crafting an atmosphere of intimacy and human connection is an intricate process, but often has a combination of certain elements, whether that is in the physical realm or if that also includes the digital space. For example, creating a safe space, engaging with authenticity and active listening, emotionally engaging stories, initiating moments of shared vulnerability, and posing questions that can lead to human connection, recognizing and expressing gratitude and acknowledgement of those who have shared moments and interactivity that gives a feeling of agency and engagement, just to name a few. Okay, so I sped through that because our time is brief. We will touch on just a few of these topics of intimacy, but we will bring them to you in the form of stories and personal experiences rather than presentations, hence the fireside chat. And because of our limited time, we will gamify this exchange by using 3-minute timers for each story, challenging ourselves to keep our stories brief and concise. And if you all can keep track of who kept their time under 3 minutes, we'll see who the winner is at the end. I'm almost under my 3 minutes here. Okay. So because, if we go over time, nobody likes the fact that they can't hear the end of the story. So we will begin now. All right. I'm under 3 minutes for this, and so I'm going to switch this over and do under 3 minutes for this. Now, both of these companies have relied on stories as traditionally as old as time, right? For these experiences, it's important to create a safe space, right? Allowing participants to fully immerse themselves in the narrative. And a key to cultivating this environment is creating an atmosphere of warmth. Whitton, could you tell me and share a story where you or someone in the audience felt this warmth during a performance?
Okay. Well, I'm going to share a story as a performer, actually, that I had with an audience member. Oh, sorry. Yes. Where I was performing in our show, Gumball Dreams, which has the wonderful thing about Gumball Dreams is that it has both shared audience interaction, the audience interacting solely with each other, and the audience getting a solo moment with the performer. So it's a 3 audience member show and 1 performer. And each audience member gets a one-on-one with the actor. They have an interactive moment with their fellow audience members, and then there are shared experiences in the show. So I, as a performer, was having my one-on-one with one of the audience members, and we asked them questions about love, regret, and the things they wish they could have done in their life. And I asked this person, about love. Did they have love in their life? And they proceeded to tell me this wonderful story about one of their children who unfortunately chose to take their own life. And it was a really beautiful story about how they wished they could have expressed more of their love to this person. And they shared some really beautiful moments with me. And I was so touched that they gave that to me. They don't know me, I'm behind an avatar, and we have an hour-long show, and this is only about halfway into the show. So 30 minutes into knowing me, someone chose, and it is a choice. People can share or not. Someone chose to share this really beautiful, intimate moment with me. And it's something that I'll remember the rest of my life. I have this connection with a person. I don't know where they live. I don't know where they're from, but now I have this beautiful moment that they chose to share with me, and that through the wonderful world of VR, that was able to happen. And I think that's the best part about it. So it was a wonderful, safe space for them where they felt like they could trust me and they could share this very intimate, personal story with me.
I love that. That's beautiful. My God. Yeah, we have a lot of really amazing moments within our shows. And Adele, would you please share?
Yeah, absolutely. So what's really interesting about what we do is it's quite different in terms of intimacy. We're creating location-based AR experiences, so often there's a lot of people there and a lot of the public can be involved too. So we're trying to create a safe space where we can't control a lot of factors and environments. So often when we're talking about a safe space, we try to think what makes the space unsafe, first of all. We're creating location-based AR through a mobile phone. Will people feel comfortable holding up their phone and engaging in our stories whilst there's other people around? If there's cars around, what are these different factors that we have to keep in mind? So earlier this year, we were launching a kids game called Carlicons. It's about these little child leprechauns from Ireland. So we decided to launch it on St. Patrick's Day in Ireland. It was the perfect occasion. And then we were thinking, how is this going to work? St. Patrick's Day is an amazing festival. It brings lots of people to Dublin, but it can also bring a lot of issues with people drinking and having fun. So we were trying to find a family-safe area. And just outside Dublin, there was a St. Patrick's festival that took place there 40 years ago, and they hadn't had a parade since. And this year they decided, let's bring the parade back and create a family-friendly parade. So in a park nearby is where we hosted our event, because we knew families could be there and comfortably use our location-based AR experience. The one thing that we couldn't control was the weather. So in the month before the event, I was looking at the long-term forecasts, and then closer to the event, looking at the short term, and the sun came and warmth was brought to our event. So we were able to create a safe space for people, and they were able to engage in fun activities. And it was really meaningful to be there and see families and children running around the park and being able to engage in this game and not having to worry about any of the factors of the public or anything that could have made the place feel unsafe.
I love that, like warmth, metaphorically and actually literally.
Yeah. Genuinely, the warmth of the sun was what we were all hoping for, to be the little cherry on top, and it came.
That's beautiful. So that's two people who's already under their 3 minutes. I love this. All right, if we are under time, that means we have time for question and answers. So stories engage us through emotions. They create a common ground that enables people to communicate, overcoming defenses and differences. Adele, we're back to you.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Can you tell me a story about an emotionally engaging moment that you or one of your audience members experienced during one of your shows?
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, as we know that creating emotion is so important, it gives a lasting impact and allows people to remember our stories, which is why we're so focused on engaging people's emotions. We created an amazing experience at a place called Spike Island just over 2 years ago. It's essentially Ireland's version of Alcatraz. It was initially a monastery, then turned into a military fort, and then a prison. And it's an amazing museum, and it's filled with a lot of empty spaces, brick walls, and people explore these rooms and are reading some signs, but they don't really engage with the stories that took place there and a lot of the suffering and hardship that was dealt with by the prisoners. So we created a whole array of experiences at Spike Island, but one of them focused on a prisoner in the cell. So these prisoners were treated very, very unfairly. They were chained to the wall and blindfolded for 23 hours a day. And it's really hard to make people feel that connection without experiencing it firsthand. So when visitors arrive in this prison cell, it's already very cold, very dreary. The tone has been set that this is not a happy place. And when you hold up your phone, you see a prisoner in the dark, and he's crying and telling his story about the love of his life, who he misses, the smells of summer. He's no idea what time it is, and it's very evocative due to the eeriness and the silence and the suffering of this poor man. So when we were launching this experience, I was doing demos with various people as they visited, and this one woman got quite emotional, and she started to cry, and she started apologizing to me. She said, "I'm really, really sorry." I was like, "It's okay." And she told me that she'd been walking around Spike Island all day, having a wonderful time, but had never thought about the actual people who had been there and what they'd experienced. And whilst I was quite upset that she was sad, I was delighted that we were able to connect with her and allow her to understand those stories. So for the rest of the day, while she was walking around the island, she was able to think of actually who were the different people that were there. There was children, there was adults, there was all these different stories that then she was able to connect with. So that really, made me proud of the work we'd done. And then in contrast to that, since I still have a few seconds left, in the same place, you visit another prison cell, and it's a funny story. It's about a prisoner who was called Jack in the Box because he used to spring out of boxes and steals people's luggage in trains. So you see a box, and as you approach it, it springs open, and this character pops out and tells you his funny stories. And anytime, especially kids, when they saw it straight away, they would have that surprise and delight. So emotions don't always have to be heavy. They can also be the light, funny ones. So there's some of my examples.
2 for the price of 1.
Yes.
Good work, Adele. Oh my God. And 2 very beautiful stories. Whitton, if you could regale us with an emotionally engaging moment.
I mean, there's been several. I wish I could do a clip show of some of our emotionally engaging moments from our shows. We've had people sing opera to us when we were in Venice with Gumball Dreams. Somebody felt so that the only way they could express their feelings in Gumball Dreams was to sing a song. We've had people tell us about their experiences with alcoholic parents in our show, Welcome to Respite, where there's only a hint of that in that show. And that was the most effective part for one person. We talked with them afterwards and they were like, oh, I just wondered, was this a reference to that? And we said, yes, but it's pretty subtle. And he was like, well, it really resonated with me because, and then he told us after the show, when we were in the credits room, he told us about his parents. And so you don't know sometimes what is going to hit people or what is really going to affect them and have that emotional impact. So I think something to keep in mind, just based on this sort of smattering of stories, is that you want to sprinkle in these little bits and these little emotional connection points for different people in your storytelling. You want to think about the different kinds of people that are going to be attending your show and give those moments and have that space for them to explore and to experience their own emotional connection. You can't always tell them what to feel, right? And I think that's really crucial. I guess very quickly, an emotional experience I had is just the simple act of hugging someone in VR. It's an incredibly effective tool that you don't think would be, because of course we're both in our home going like this, right? In a headset, but it doesn't matter because visually I'm seeing someone who I know, at least in our shows, is a real person puppeting an avatar. I know that's a real person. And so I can let myself enjoy the emotional connection of a hug. And I've experienced that as a player and as a performer. It's wonderfully powerful. In Welcome to Respite, the audience as a child hugs their mom, who's one of the actors. And it's a beautiful moment that we let them come to us and they hug us. And as the child avatar, you're literally hugging your parent who is taller than you. So it's a really effective emotional connection tool.
Right down to the end of the wire there. Yeah, the body remembers, the mind knows that
exactly.
you're at home, but the body remembers. So allowing the audience to participate and to have a tangible impact on the allowing the audience to participate and have a tangible impact on the performances engages them directly, making an experience more personal and memorable. I want to talk about interactive elements, right? So, Whitton, will you tell us a story about an audience member or yourself when there was an interactive moment that further enhanced the feeling of connection and intimacy?
I mean, I guess I've sort of talked about some of that already, but I think, there's so many.
Interaction, something that is...
Yes. I think, again, Gumball Dreams does that really effectively, where the audience gets to interact with the physical environment. They have to solve puzzles to help this alien transition to the next stage of existence. And they do that by working with one of their fellow audience members. They work together to free a power source from a puzzle maze. And it requires 2 people. So they have to communicate, they have to talk, and then they have to physically move their avatar or their physical body in order to interact with the puzzle. And this does 2 things. It helps them literally, as Deirdre said, the body remembers. So suddenly, physically, they are engaged with this story. They're literally having to move or bend or change the position of their body. And then secondly, it gives them a connection not just with the story and the actor, but with their fellow audience members, right? You know, think about when you're in a movie theater and everyone laughs at a moment or jumps because it's scary, right? Suddenly, for a brief second, you do feel that connection with your fellow audience members. And that becomes crucial to your enjoyment of this thing. And that act of physicalization, that act of vocalization is a part of that, even if you're not aware of it. And so the interactivity of this puzzle solving moment achieves that in a really quick way. They have they have 2 minutes to do it, 5 minutes?
It used to be 5, but now it's 3.
3 minutes. They have 3 minutes to solve this puzzle. They don't know that, but they have 3 minutes to solve this puzzle. And so very quickly we create a shared bond between these people who don't know each other. I even had one show where they got so into it, they were high-fiving in world. And when they got out of headset at the event, they all high-fived afterwards because they were so excited. So.
I love that. Yes, interactivity. Adele, would you please share?
Yeah, absolutely. So earlier this year, we worked with the sustainability team in Grant Thornton, Ireland, and they approached us because they wanted to teach their employees about how they could change their behaviors in order to combat climate change. And AR storytelling is amazing for that because, as we know, when things are interactive, you have the active decision making as opposed to passively being told of what to do. So the experience was about how can people, all of us here, make simple behavioral choices every day that will have the bigger lasting effect on reducing the effects of climate change. So what we decided on was the use of a single-use coffee cup. And I will flag in advance that I feel terribly guilty that right now I have a single-use cup. But this is kind of the whole point of my story. We were working with the team, and I'm the one who created the story about the concept. We worked with them. Okay, there's a single coffee cup, and you have to make a choice. So in the experience, you put the cup in the bin, and you see the effect that has if you do it every day, if you do it every week, if you do it every month. And the more coffee cups that you use, the ceiling opens and coffee cups start pouring out from the ceiling. And by the end of the experience, you're swimming within a river of coffee cups. And it's showing you that your choice, every single time you decide to take that single-use coffee cup or any sort of single-use plastic, the impact that it has. And genuinely, ever since that, I feel terribly guilty anytime I'm traveling on the road and want a coffee and I don't have a refillable cup with me. So the client that we worked with, they are fantastic, and they have provided to all of their employees reusable cups to allow them to be able to make these choices. But it's something that really, really has stuck with me. And it makes me realize that anyone who's tried that experience will end up having the same experience that I have. So it really has meant a lot to me to realize those simple interactive choices where I put myself in that position of making the choice has impacted my behavior.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I feel guilt right now.
What you should be proud of is that all of our lovely members here have stayed under time, which I love because look at my blue here, and I have even less than 3 minutes here to finish up. So I'm going to wrap up so fast. All right, here we go again. Through the lens of VR and AR storytelling, you've seen how technology can create new and exciting ways to engage audiences, creating spaces of trust and emotions that can flow freely given the right engagement. We learned that even in the digital age, the essence of human connection remains unchanged. It's the warmth of a shared story, the courage of vulnerability, it's the strength found in a communal experience. As we step back into the hallway of this incredible conference, let's continue to push the boundaries of what's possible in this amazing, awe-inspired world, fostering individual connections as we go. I'm going to take a moment here to say, how do we answer that? What is the importance of intimacy and connection in VR? Well, the best way I can wrap all this up in a little bit of a bow is to talk a bit about Maya Angelou and her famous quote about people don't really remember what you say, but they remember how you feel. These experiences, if they remember how you feel, they will be remembered. They won't remember all the things that happen necessarily, but if you made them feel in a moment, whether that be joy or a heartbreak or a confinement in the stories that we've heard here, they will remember it. So thank you. Until we meet again, may we all remain ever curious on the stories that unite us. Thank you for coming out so early in the morning. Since we don't have time for questions, we will stay around if you want to ask us anything personally, but please do me a favor really quickly. If you could all stand up and turn towards the back. My husband's there. I want to get a big picture of all of us. If everyone could stand up and just wave to the camera. Hey, good morning. We're here at AWE. We got up early. Thank y'all.